Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for my client Michelle's vlog. And her training is a little more simple right now. She wanted to work with a variation of what I've been doing with my own training. And so, again, I've agreed to do this for her. So, what we're doing right now is like a 4-day conjugate max effort, but we're doing the classic lifts with training maxes, and rather than her ramping up and picking them, I assign the numbers. So I basically give her a number to ramp up to on the squat, bench, and deadlift, and then, so we hit a classic bench press uh, twice a week, and then on the upper days, and then the lower days we hit a classic back squat and a conventional deadlift, and I give her the numbers that she's going to ramp up to. So in this case, for this week, we did 160 on the bench. Right, then we did 265, 315 on the deadlifts. So for supplemental work, she's pause benching afterwards on the bench press day. Right, again with pre-assigned numbers. And again, this tends to work pretty well. I found this own method to be very, very effective for bringing my own bench up lately, to where we do a training max and we do a bunch of pause reps, and then we do hypertrophy work for our various weak links, whatever we need for back, triceps, delts, whatever, pecs, whatever it is that we need beyond that. So I am having her do chin-ups, and it's not because chin-ups are necessarily always the best exercise. She's good at chin-ups. She's strong at chin-ups. She's got a nice strong middle back. So we're just running with them. I personally do rows. I think she does really well on chins. And it's mainly because she's strong at them, right? And lats are a strong point for her, and we don't want to lose that, right? But we do an amount of volume that's appropriate for it. So because she is deadlifting twice a week, we only come in and do 3 sets of chins twice a week. Because her back is so strong, relative to some of the other muscles of the upper body, like the pecs and everything, that's enough. That's enough. 6 challenging sets of chin-ups every week, especially considering we are doing heavy deadlifts and things in there. That's a lot of back work. We're good. It's enough to stimulate some adaptation. Whereas we're really putting a lot of effort into a lot of her pressing muscles. Her pec and delt volumes are much higher because that's what she needs right now. So because of all the supplemental pressing, we do 5 sets of supplemental benching, and that's done twice a week, right? And then, of course, we do lateral raises in here to continue to grow her entire shoulder girdle. And note that her shoulders have gotten significantly bigger, right? She's gotten bigger up there since we started working together. So again, we've had to just put muscle on in certain places, and that really is the name of the game. As far as our power lifts go, if we're going to play the long game, hypertrophy really, really is the name of the game. That's what raises your strength ceiling. That's what gets us where we need to get over time, along with actual force production, intramuscular coordination, all the stuff we get from maxes. But all of those are a little more short-lived. They help you maximize on the frame and the musculature that you have developed. All right, for squats, now we're doing 265 this week. Her best ever is 275. So, again, about 10 pounds under it. And once I feel like she's comfortable with these training maxes, I'll start working them up over time. All right, deadlifts, we do 315. And what's interesting, I've had some people comment here or there that they think this is fake weight, but it's like she pulled 319 in competition. She has a state record, right? This is in sanctioned competition, and that's 4 pounds more than what we're deadlifting here. So any sort of claim that's fake weight because of the bumpers or whatever is absurd. She's deadlifted more in competition with calibrated plates. Right? It's in the record books. Let's not be silly, people. All right. For accessory work, we're doing hip thrusts. Right? Hip thrusts, which she likes hip thrusts. They do well for her. She had done some of these in the past, and so we brought a return to these because, again, they help with where a lot of her weak links are. And they help with where her weak links are. And since we've started doing them, her squatting and things have gotten easier. She's getting good carryover out of this. Because again, at the end of the day, I would rather most of my lifters focus on non-axial loading movements. We can build the lower body with all of this supplemental work. And as long as we maintain our technique and our training maxes or a little bit of heavy work to maximize on it on things like the squat and deadlift, we're good. But we do need to maximize lower body development, and we can pick lifts that help us a little bit in terms of movement pattern carryover through our weakest links, especially the bigger movements. You don't see that so much with the single joint, but for lower body, we're doing a lot of bigger movements here, right? The hip thrusts are definitely on that list because of the angles involved, right? They'll help with where she's at on deadlifts. They'll help with her sticking points on deadlifts. A one leg press, maybe not as much in terms of carryover, but it's just a general lower body quad adductor glute developer that's easy to recover from, right? We can get a substantial range of motion, and so we can develop the legs in a way that will carry over to our squatting and to some extent deadlifting, right? Some really strong deadlifters out there I know like to do, actually heavy leg presses to help them get faster off the floor. It works. Right? So there's always some joint angle specificity with those movement pattern carryovers. Of course, here she took the weight off and she's going really slow, and I told her to quit doing that. She saw someone in the comments say that, she needed to slow down and everything on her glute ham raise. I'm like, oh, don't worry, don't listen to people in the comments section. They oftentimes don't know what they're talking about. We've been doing them the other way a long time, and your deadlifts have been going up, right? Always have to remind her of that. I have to remind a lot of my vloggers of that because they will read the comments and they'll see people give training advice who, I would always remind them, who are these people? Look to see who they are. Don't just take random advice from strangers. Are they doing anything? Do they know anything? For all you know, it's someone who started working out 2 weeks ago and read a couple bodybuilding articles. You don't know that. Can't worry about that. And then, of course, we finish up with reverse hyperextensions, which I'm always going to be a fan of. I love the reverse hyper. And she's pushed these pretty hard, and they've helped quite a bit with low back strength. They've helped with her glute strength, everything else. Glute development. Again, great exercise for those things, in addition to the recovery components. And just for the sake of brevity, because I try to keep most of these vlogs under 10 minutes. I'm not putting any of her supplemental work in for days 3 or 4. I'm just going to show the training maxes, which is a squat, bench, and deadlift. But I do want to be clear, these workouts are being replicated twice a week. But you can tell because of the different outfits here that she's obviously doing these movements a second time in the same week. So again, pause bench. All right, we came in, did a 160 pause bench. Of course, her hair's still done there. She did a photo shoot that day. So it was a pretty busy day, which she didn't come in fresh on this. So it made it a little more difficult. Notice the bar's a little slow in the middle. But look at that strong lockout. It shows us how much the strong triceps pay off. Because once she gets through her sticking point, she locks it fast. All right, then we have a 265 back squat and a 315 deadlift again for you guys. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.